Hello and welcome. In our previous video, we created a node application using Next.js and Firebase. We used Firebase Firestore database for that application. In this video, we will implement Firebase authentication in that same application so that users can only view or modify their own nodes. So let us get started. In order to set up authentication, first go to your Firestore dashboard, then click on Build, click on Authentication in the side panel, then click on Get Started. For this project, we will only be using the email password authentication method. So select it, then Enable, toggle Enable, and then Save. Now, as new users keep on logging in or signing up, they will be displayed in your dashboard, the users. First, go to the Firebase config file and import get auth from Firebase auth. Then const auth equal Firebase get auth and pass in the app. Then export auth. Now create a folder context and inside it create a file auth context.js. The following code will set up a React context hook to make the current Firebase authenticated user available to any component in your application without having to pass it down manually through props. Then import create context, use context, use state, and use effect hooks from React. Then import auth from the Firebase config file. Then import on auth state changed from Firebase auth. This is a Firebase function. Then declare a variable, means I'm going to create a context object now. Const auth context equal create context. Create context is a React API that creates a context object. A context object provides a way to pass data through the component tree without having to pass props down manually at every level. Now export function auth provider and pass in children. This is a React component often called a provider. Its job is to provide the context value to all of the descendants in the React component tree. Then I will declare some state variables user, set user, and use the useState hook, which will be initially null. Then I will use the useEffect hook const unsubscribe equal on auth sense, auth state sense, auth and passing auth and set user. This is the core Firebase part. On auth state sense is a Firebase authentication function that sets up a listener. Whenever the user's authentication state changes, example they log in, log out, their token refreshes, or their session expires, the provided callback function setUser in this case is executed with a new user object or null if logged out. Then return unsubscribe. Then return auth context dot provider, pass in the user as value and the children. This line renders dot auth context dot provider component. The value prop is where you pass the data that you want to make available to all consuming components. Here we are passing an object user which contains the current user's authentication state. Then export const use auth, use context and pass in auth context. This is a custom React hook. It's a convenient wrapper around the use context hook. Instead of writing use context or context in every component that needs the user data, you can just import and call use auth. Now go to app.js file and import auth provider from the auth context. Then wrap the entire component tree within the auth provider. Now in the page dot, now create a new screen, new web page, nodes.js, and create a new React functional component called nodes here. I will move all the code from the index.js file into this new file, and this will, and I think I made a mistake here. Instead of placing the context, sorry, not the context, yes, instead of placing the context folder in the root directory, I should have placed it inside the pages folder. So I will just move the auth context file into the context folder in the pages folder directory and delete the original context folder. Now go to app.js file and again put the component tree inside the auth provider. And pass in the page props. Now I will import the code from the index.js file and put them in the node.js file. You can just copy and paste them here. Everything within the JSX, all the functions, all the create, write and create operations, everything. Place them inside the nodes function. Save it. Now we'll remove this code from the index.js file. Now in the create a new folder called components in the pages folder directory, and inside the components folder create a sign in component and a sign up component. In the sign in component create a React functional component, and inside the sign up component also create a React functional component. Then go to index.js file and import both the sign in and sign up components. There is an error in the old context file. It says that on or sense is not defined. I think I have to reinitialize it again. Pass in on or state change again. Okay, now it is being defined. Then pass in the or and set user. Save it. Okay, the error is removed. Now in the index.js page, declare some state variables: cons visible, set visible. This will be used to toggle the visibility of the sign in and the sign up component. At first, when the page loads, it will display the the sign in component. If the user does not have a account, then it will be asked to sign up. Then write this function, create cons toggle visible, set visible, not visible, means this will toggle between the true and false of the visibility since it's a boolean. Then in the JSX, create a ternary operator. If visible, it will display the sign in component, and I will also pass in a line here within ptext with text center that will ask do not have an account and set a button sign in, sign up here. Then I will call the toggle visible function here. Then in the next part, I will pass in the sign up component, and create the same line here, but instead of sign up, this will be sign in. It will ask already have an account. Let's save it. Okay, let's try it out. Yeah, it's working. From the nodes component, create copy the footer and paste it here. Now I will create the sign-in component. In the sign-in component, first import use state, sign in with email and password. This is a Firebase function authentication. Then import auth from Firebase config and import use router from next router. Now in the sign in function, declare some state variables for email, which will be a string, and password, which will also be a string. Then const router, use router. Now now I will create the login function that will log in the user. Const handle login. This will be a synchronous function. e.prevent default. Then set up a try catch block. Await. Then call the sign in with email and password and pass in the auth, email and password as parameters. Then set up an alert, login successful. And after the login is successful, I will redirect the page to the nodes. Redirect the browser to the nodes page. If there is an error, I will alert the error message. Now in the JSX, I will create a form for signing. It's to login. Give the styles. Then create a form. On submit, it will call the function handle login. Pass in the following classes. Create input type text, email, name email, ID email, placeholder email, give the following classes for the CSS, then value will be email, and pass in a onSense event listener, e set email, e.target.value. Then copy this input and paste it below. This time it will be for password. Type password, name password, email ID password, placeholder password, and value will be password, and onSense set password. And then create a button here. Type submit. and log in. Give some styles. Save it. Okay. The login is being displayed. Now I will create the sign up component. The sign up component will usually be the same as sign in. So copy this line, imports, and paste it here. And instead of signing with email and password, here it will be create user with email and password, which is again a Firebase function or whatever you want to say. Then create the same state variables. And now I will create the function to handle the sign up. Async e.prevent.default. Set up a trackers block. Inside the type block, await, create user with email and password, and then pass in the old email and password. And this time I won't reroute it to the nodes. Instead, I will reload the page. Window.location.reload. And this will display the sign in. Then console.error error and alert error.message. And for the JSX, copy the form from sign in, paste it here, and change login to sign up, and form on submit call the handle sign up. The rest will be nearly similar. There is an extra O here. Just remove it from both the sign in and sign up component. Then change for the button, give background red, and change the login to sign up. Save it. If there are any previous nodes saved in the Firestore database, I suggest you delete them. Otherwise, it might cause problems here. Now let's try it out. I will first sign up with an email and a password. Okay, sign up is successful. If you go to the authentication page, you will see your user and new user ID listed here in the Firebase website. Now before I log in, I have to make some changes to the nodes file so that only the nodes created by that particular user is displayed and not all the nodes. So I will import get auth from Firebase auth, and also I will have to set up a sign out button here. So I will import sign out and then import use router hook from the next router. Then const auth equal get auth const user equal auth dot current user const router equal use router. In the fetch nodes function, I will first check if there is a user or not, if I am signed in or not. If no user, then console.error no user logged in. Return. Then in the const response, remove the order by, and instead I will pass in this where, which is also a Firebase function, and I will filter the nodes by the UID. UID means user IDs. If UID is equal to user.uid means the UID of the current user that is logged in. Then in the nodes object, when I am creating a new node, I will also have to pass in the user ID of the person who is creating the node. And I will set up a logout function here, const handle logout async await sign out and pass in auth and give an alert logged out, and then redirect to the index page router.push index. Now create a logout button, set up a div, give it a class name of flex, and justified end. Give it a width full. Then insert a button, give a class name, background red, text white, padding 2 and cursor pointer, and on click it will call the handle logout function. Save it. Then in the create nodes API, add nodes API, along with the nodes and created it, I also have to create a field for the user ID also. So I will retrieve the UID from the request body and pass the UID along with the node. So the particular node will also have the ID of the user who created it. Now let's log in. Login successful. Okay, there is an error. Go to nodes. It is given the error as current user ID. User is not a function. So remove the parenthesis. Now let's create a node, new node, add node, node added, and node is being displayed. And if you go to the Firebase database, see the node is there along with the UID, means the user ID. Now let's log out, create another user, and create another node here. Let's log in. Okay, that node is not being displayed here. Let's create a node, echo nodes, add. Okay, echo node is here. I will log out and I will log in as the previous user again and see if the echo node is being displayed there. No. So only the user specific nodes are being displayed. Okay, this is it for Firebase authentication. This is just a simple authentication using email and password. I hope you like this video and I will see you on the next one.